Hey guys, Michael Mechanical here, just out of the shower, and was thinking I haven't made an up video for a little while, and I do have a bit of an interesting topic. I wouldn't call it interesting so much as it is important to really understand what direction I'm taking personally because of various reasons. So, here in Australia, the fuel price is getting very close to $2 per litre. Now, I just went and looked on the internet and how much fuel is elsewhere. Now, in USA, it's apparently $2.50 in their money for almost 4 litres, which is 3.8 litres apparently. I think it's actually less than that per gallon. But a gallon in USD is $2.50. Now, compare it to a litre, we're paying almost $2 for 1 litre. Here in Australia, the price of fuel is going up and up and up, and it's really difficult for people to compete with that, especially with the rising costs of living. So the problem we're facing is essentially that there's a lot of price hikes in the Australian economy, which is costing Australians a lot of money in order to keep their cars running. My direction for my brand new car, if I get a brand new car, is electric, because I can get the fuel essentially for free on an electric car, or because I'm planning to, when I get my own place, set it up so it's essentially sustainable and I don't have to pay an electricity bill, and it essentially makes itself money that it can pay for all the bills, and I don't have to worry about bills. I can save that money, put it towards something else, or put it towards maintenance and repairs of systems or the house, and look after everything. So the bill for this house right now is, well, we got a credit of about $450 all in all. The bill was, in the previous quarter, about $300 credit. Now it's about $450 credit. So essentially we're up $150 in credit because we've had a bit of sunlight. Don't know how the next bill is going to be, but I reckon it's going to be, we're going to lose some credit. But we're still going to be generating power enough that will cover the next bill a little bit at least. So, to people who are considering, getting hybrid cars, the reason I would advise against going hybrid, and preferably would recommend going straight for an electric car, is while a hybrid car can get you out of trouble almost anywhere because you can buy fuel, you're still going to have to pay for the same sort of stuff that you'd be paying for on a regular car. So you've got a regular car, not a hybrid, right? You're going to be paying for oil changes, you're going to be paying for maintenance, repairs, part replacements, fuel. That's the sort of stuff you're going to be paying. And if you think about it, with the price of fuel going up and up and up, things are going to get to the point you're essentially paying for the same cost as it is today to run around in a hybrid. A hybrid's just going to go up in price to run, whereas an electric can either be null, or you pay something for refueling your car, recharging your car. It's new terminology. It's time to get used to it, I guess. So I would prefer to get an electric car because of the perks in the long term. In the short term, older cars will do the trick. I think the focus should be for people in Australia to focus on going green and going for the electric car. Now, to some people, green is actually the new dirty, but when you consider the factors of how we're getting that power these days, instead of burning fuel, we've got these panels we put in our roofs that last about 20, 25 years, maybe even longer, but you have the inverter which lasts 5+ years. If you think about it, you're not burning anything anymore. You're actually generating something from something else. You're converting one kind of energy into another. And it's a lot more efficient than burning coal in order to get what we need. Because, coal, it's still a vital resource for other things. I don't recall what you could use coal for, but there was benefits of having coal for certain operations. The best example I can think of off the top of my head is if you need some really high heats, you can then start a furnace with coal, get the coal up to a high temperature and melt stuff. You can also throw coal in with metal And I believe the reason you could do that is to put carbon into the metal. So there is a reason not to burn off all the coal, because coal is vital in creating metal. You need lime. I'm going to sneeze in a minute. I can't help it. Oh, sorry. I'm going to sneeze again, I reckon. Oh, that's Jesus. Why do we always do that? Anyway, you need coal, in which is to make the steel stronger. It's a way of putting carbon into the metal. You need lime. I don't remember the reason for lime, but it's the one thing bad about lime is that's the reason why iron rusts, apparently. Iron is prone to rusting with lime in it. And if you think about lime erodes over time, and that's why we have caverns and caves, because there's limestone. And that's why there is rivers underground. Something like that. But it's also at the same time why they are so strong, those caverns underground. Because the limestone doesn't just let go, it dissolves slowly over time. Or something like that. I don't remember all the details. There's some other stuff that I can't really remember that goes in. Iron. That might be all there is. There was like a powder. I don't know if there was any word for that powder. It could have been lime. I don't know. But from what I remember, someone used fertilizer. A special kind of fertilizer. They knew what they were using, and they were using that as the limestone. As what do they call it? There's a special name for it. It's when you have like, I'm thinking about the one steel that I remember the white powder used with. When you have like aluminum, you add this into the mix, and it keeps it impurities from getting at it, or keeps it pure or something. I don't remember. They used it with aluminium a lot, the white powder. And I think I've seen it with this creation of steel process. I believe I have. Could be wrong. But diesel is okay. Petrol is probably more viable at this point in time because it seems to be cheaper than diesel, and petrol cars seem to be getting better gas mileage these days, or as good. Only up until the point you're not towing anything. As soon as you start towing, the diesel is probably the way to go. Probably. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it probably is. Because a diesel can keep its revs lower, meaning it can consume the fuel more efficiently. But it's up to you guys what you want. But the newer diesels are not as reliable as the older diesels. And people could say things are the other way around, that the newer diesels are more reliable than the old ones. But the old ones had a tolerance that the new ones cannot rival. And that's the fact that you can put petrol, into the diesel tank, run it through the system, drain it out, and it will be fine. It will not destroy the engine or anything, but it will cause pinging, which is bad. I did that by accident with my car. My car was already messed up anyway, but that was ages ago, and I've done, since then, 40,000 kilometers on the car, because it was in my early days of driving that car, and everyone knows I've been driving it ever since, but no one ever knew about that story. And those were the days when, the first day I got it on the road and drivable, when I finally got it running, I went and took it out for a spin. All I did was go down to the petrol station down the road, go get some diesel, put it in the tank, and drove it home. And I did it A1, first time ever driving it that manual. Then when I got it home, packed it away, went to bed, checked some things before I went to bed, and then I went back to bed. Then in the morning, I took it to school, and I sucked. I stalled the car 2 or 3 times on the one day, and I've stalled the car maybe about 11 times over the lifetime I've had that vehicle. I'm very good at luck, maybe even more than that, but not by much. It's very minimal how many times I've stalled my car. I recall at my Nan and Papa's, I recall 3 times the first day, 2 times the second, so if we go 1 plus 5, that's 6. I've stalled it twice recently, so that's 8. And I don't remember any other times I've stalled it, so currently I remember 8 times in which I stalled the car. The Tata, however, I've stalled that 2-3 times, and that's since I've had it, and it's still very easy to stall. Diesels are good for the loads, and petrol vehicles are good for just touring, getting around quickly, and not a weight-based scenario. It's more about, have some passengers in the car, take you shopping home or wherever you're going, and just go. Go on a little trip. Don't take a ton of goods. You're not a goods hauler. Like a truck. You can't compete with a truck with a petrol vehicle. It's just not going to happen. Unless you're talking about speed, then, unfortunately the diesels cannot rev as high as petrol. They'll destroy themselves internally. They don't have that capability. And if they could, that'd be really cool. But I don't think there's the efficiency in that at all. Okay, so I hope people can see the light of, hey, electric is the way to go. A second-hand electric car will be okay, I reckon. Just be careful, because the thing that I realize is if you buy a high mileage electric car, you're going to be up for some hefty expenses if something breaks. Now, from what I can recall, it costs them around, for the Tesla Model 3, the body costs them about 10-12 grand to make. The battery costs between 10 and 16,000 to make. The motor is about $4,000 to make. Wiring, I have no idea what the wiring's worth, but to understand it, you're looking at a lot of money to get a new battery or recon battery or whatever. So just be careful of that one expense. When you save money on fuel, put it away as if the battery is your fuel, and you're putting it towards that $14,000 battery bill, as if the battery is your fuel, because can't help it. You really have to be prepared for anything to go wrong in your car. Unlike me, I was never able to prepare for everything that went wrong. My car currently, I've left it alone. I've started up here and there. But what I did recently was I started up one day, and a few days later went out and the water went down in the overflow bottle and there was nothing left in it, just crud and crap. I filled it with clean fluid, and then I just started up, left it overnight. A couple of days later, checked it again, water went down again. That is a sign of probably the blown head gasket again, and that's why I don't want to keep driving the thing. I'll just kill it otherwise. So, the question is, what can I do about it? Nothing. There is absolutely nothing I can do about that problem. The only thing I can do if I want to fix it, I've got to rebuild the motor, and I need a brand new head. So no one's ever going to see that thing on the road again until I've done everything I want to do. So to achieve what I want to achieve, suspension gets rebuilt, diff gets serviced, and by suspension I mean the whole car, front and rear, all suspension components get rebuilt and replaced as needed. The engine gets rebuilt properly, and the heater core in the cabin of the car gets fixed, because I think there's a problem with the heater core in the cab. And the reason being is, I always say the smell of the coolant that's in the car now currently smells like sparkler fluid. And I call it sparkler fluid because it's like sparklers. You know, those things you light and then they go shh, like a Christmas item or a party item. You put a fire to it and it just sparks and throws arcs everywhere, like a fireworks up close. That's what it smells like. It smells like one of those. But it's at highway speeds under load and it just kills the car. I'm going to leave it at that. I can't do much about my car at the moment. But until a time that I want to fix it and everything, I'm going to work on my stuff that I've been working on recently. I'm learning to develop apps. I am working on a game. I'm getting encouraged to start a business in which it's not going to be sustainable, but I do know what I need to do to make it sustainable. And I'm also getting ready to go to bed because I have a thing in the morning, because I've been working every single day learning, and I haven't considered making a video because I've been focused on what I'm doing. I even have my bills which I've paid on my desk. and a bunch of other things. So, gonna see how everything goes. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. And I know that's pretty early to some people, 10:38 p.m, but I need to be going to bed by about 11 in order to get up in the morning and have a strong day. But I am going to suggest to people, if you feel yuck, disgusting crap, is to motivate yourself. And to do that, look after yourself. It's very critical that if you look after yourself, you'll feel way better. It's important to make sure you're not ever feeling hungry. Make sure you feel satisfied, because if you don't feel satisfied, you can't focus, can't concentrate. You can't motivate yourself as much as you could if you were satisfied. It takes a lot out of you to focus on the thing you want to focus on. Because focus, believe it or not, takes a lot of effort to focus. It takes a lot of energy to focus. And so what you need to do is make sure you're satisfied. Pardon me. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. We will see you later. And one day, she'll be on the road again. Rebuild suspension, rear front, rebuild tray, fix that up. Interior, redo the heater core, rebuild the engine, and she'll be a beauty again. Thanks for watching, and see you later.